Hello and welcome to another inspiring episode of Diaspora Network, where we celebrate Nigerians making remarkable strides around the world. I'm Teniola Oyetayo. On today's program, we explore the theme of finding a career niche in the diaspora. We'll be highlighting the story of Kenneth Okai, a seasoned IT and project management professional based in the United Arab Emirates. He joins us to talk about his journey, the challenges he's overcome, and his advice for Nigerians looking to find their own path in the diaspora. But first, let's get up to speed on the latest news from the diaspora.
On October the 1st, hundreds of people in the UK gathered to celebrate Nigeria's 64th Independence Day. In a special day-long event, several provinces came together for dancing, markets and food. Barking and Dagenham and Luton boroughs were two regions taking part in the celebrations. Joshua Chukwu, one of the organisers from Nigeria Bedfordshire Group, emphasised the importance of gathering despite the economic hardship back home, and the event is also celebrating the resilience of Nigerians both in the country and the diaspora. On the same day, the Barking and Dagenham Council also launched Black History Month celebrations. This year's theme, Reclaiming Narratives, served as a reminder of the importance of the rich history of the Black and Black British public, acknowledging both the struggles and triumphs that have shaped their collective experiences. The Cabinet Member for Employment, Skills and Aspiration emphasised that the Council remains dedicated to combating racism and ensuring their community is inclusive and supportive.
My name is Florence Ifeoluwa-Otedola, but you can call me Cuppy. I'm repping a country called Nigeria, in case you've heard of it.
Florence Otedola, popularly known as DJ Cuppy, recently made history by becoming the first British Nigerian to host an opening session at the United Nations General Assembly. DJ Cuppy is a globally renowned DJ, philanthropist, and the founder of the Cuppy Foundation, a non-profit which seeks to provide access to quality education and protection for girls and people with disabilities, both in Africa as well as the diaspora. The session she moderated was titled The Summit of the Future Youth Actions Day. During the session, DJ Cuppy voiced her commitment to empowering young people to take action, as well as for figures to take collective action in addressing the challenges posed by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals this year, especially the goal to provide equal access to education. Paris-based startup Salubata was one of 4 African brands to receive funding from this year's first ever NBA Africa Startup Accelerator Demo Day, which was held at the NBA headquarters in New York City. The company was founded by Nigerian entrepreneurs Felabui and Yuanda Adeboale in 2021 and creates environmentally friendly modular shoes repurposed from plastic waste, with a mission to help reduce the global carbon footprint. Out of hundreds of applicants, the startup made it to the final 10. After pitching their ideas, the company won second place, and with it a $40,000 prize. The event aims to support early-stage African startups and provide mentorship, capital, and guidance as they navigate their new businesses. It is part of NBA Africa program's larger commitment to expanding and shaping the future of the African sports ecosystem. Birmingham's Black Box Theatre has announced a new play starring Nigerian-born actor Destiny Osajide, who will portray Joseph Laroche, who was the only known black man to board the infamous 1912 Titanic. The play, which is titled Laroche, reenacts the story of a man who came from a prominent Haitian family and moved to France, where he married a French woman. However, after years facing limited job prospects due to racial discrimination, his family decided to move back to Haiti, and he boarded the Titanic with his wife and 2 children in hopes of a better life. The play pays homage to Laroche among countless other black individuals whose stories have been overlooked in history. The actor, dancer, and poet made his acting debut in the 2019 fantasy drama The Lost Okoroshi, directed by Abba Makama. He's known for his powerful performances, including Blood of Enoji, where he played Prince Adewale, a role that won him the Adiso Award. Osajide expressed how humbled he felt to bring Laroche's underrepresented story to light. He hopes to inspire audiences with the gravity of his character's destiny, a man driven by love for his family. In late September, Nigerian business owners, including food vendors, fashion brands and models in the UK, gathered for the launch of Raft X, an annual event that aims to celebrate culture, arts and community by providing a platform for talented individuals and businesses to network and share ideas. The event, which took place at the Intercontinental Hotel, hosted exhibitors as well as budding entrepreneurs looking to break into the creative industry. It also featured a talent hunt show with 3 top finalists and winner who won a £3,000 cash prize. An unforgettable event, the day was dedicated to breaking barriers and creating opportunities for those living in the diaspora. Simon Pusey with your Diaspora Network News Wrap in London.
We all know that building a successful career requires hard work, resilience, and the ability to adapt. And many Nigerians in the diaspora have proven to be masters of these traits. In our special report this week, from tech professionals to entrepreneurs, we focus on the stories of Nigerians who, through dedication and commitment, have found their career niche and are thriving in it.
One of the most important things in the mind of every migrant before and right after they arrive their host country is securing a source of income. But looking for a job in an unfamiliar place can sometimes be challenging, from grasping the law of the land to networking. And in addition to earning an income, many aim to thrive beyond just making ends meet. The modern job market places a premium on know-how, so finding an area of expertise significantly improves one's chances of success. Significantly, building a successful career requires hard work, resilience, as well as the ability to adapt, and many Nigerians in the diaspora have proven to be masters of these traits. They are navigating and carving a niche by uniting their interests and abilities, opening doors to greater professional success in their chosen fields. First in the center stage is technology leadership speaker Bumi Banjo. She is the founder and CEO of Kuvora Incorporated and was previously responsible for Google's brand and reputation in Africa, where she led the company's effort to provide digital skills to millions of youths across the continent. She is currently a member of the advisory board of the Center for Excellence in Data for Society, University of Arizona.
Ethnic groups already covered this same idea around the languages, and then it's an extremely young population.
Tech entrepreneur and founder of Digital Democracy, Joel Bukbola, grew up in Gbongan, Osun State, southwest Nigeria. Aside his first degree in accounting, he holds a master's in managerial psychology from the University of Ibadan. He presently chairs the Institute of Directors Group in Africa, one of the world's oldest and most prestigious business leader groups. In 2022, he was appointed to head the task force to improve trading ties between Africa and the United Kingdom. President and managing consultant at Jago Solutions International, Adebayo Adeshoshu, grew up in Ibadan, southwest Nigeria. He moved to Canada and secured a job as manager, domestic operations customer service at FedEx Red Star plc. He later took up another role as solutions analyst at Iron Data and progressed to becoming an IT consultant, and has worked with several organizations and government, including the Government of Canada, Manitoba Public Insurance, IBM, Office of the Superintendent for Financial Institutions, and the Government of Ontario. Through his IT consulting firm, he gives Nigerian professionals new in Canada the much-needed work experience required to get employed in their field of choice. These and many more Nigerians are flying the country's flag and showcasing the boundless potential that lies within every Nigerian.
Now let's turn our focus to our guest today, Kenneth Okai, an IT and project management professional with years of experience in the industry. Originally from Nigeria, he shares his journey from his early days to making the move to the United Arab Emirates and offers insights on how to carve out a successful career in the diaspora.
Born in the heart of northern Nigeria in Funtua, Katsina State to son Lady Celestine Okai, Kenneth Okai embodies a blend of cultural richness and professional excellence, with roots deeply grounded in Delta State Ebu village. His life's mostly shaped by the diverse experiences of growing up in a large family as the third of 5 children, alongside 3 brothers and 1 sister. His academic journey began at Spring Nursery and Primary School in Kano, which laid the foundation for his inquisitive nature. Secondary education saw him split time between Federal Government College, Azara in Bauchi, and Model International School in Kaduna. Kenneth then pursued a bachelor's degree in microbiology at the Federal University of Technology, Mina.
Going through that journey in school, I knew this wasn't for me. I couldn't even remember the biological names of human beings, how much more of microorganisms. So I knew 100% this was to just tick the box, I have a degree, but the passion had always been IT, you know. I was fascinated by how the internet works. How do you connect things? And so I started bit by bit, buy computer parts, put them together, build my own computer, do small home sharing network for the house, you know, use the internet dongle. And from there, you know, the interest even grew more.
His quest for higher learning continued at Coventry University in the UK, where he earned a master's in network computing, further propelling him into the world of IT and infrastructure. His career trajectory is one of hard work, adaptability, and leadership, from humble beginnings as a driver's mate in Coventry to working as a parcel sorter. He demonstrated great work ethic early on.
To be honest, a lot of the advice I got initially when I got to the UK was, hey, you've done your master's, well done. It was just a way to get in, put it somewhere, and then this is what we do, you know, get a security job and then for me, it's, you know, I know where my family have come from. I know how much effort it was to be able to afford this. And then to now settle for that was not quite an option. So I kept trying, but obviously we did the menial jobs to keep going. I did the parcel sorting as well, where you work for Royal Mail. You go walk through the night, moving parcels. I tried one job one time. It was in a tire factory. You know, desperate for money, I told the agency, call me, any job I will do. But this one, I went into the factory. After 30 minutes, I was like, alas, this isn't for me. The smell of the tire. And then I walked away before eventually I got a call from a company. They said, we see you have an IT background, but what we need is customer services. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. For me, this was my route into professional work. And they're like, yeah, on the side, you'll be able to support us with IT challenges. As part of this customer service role anyways, you'll still do a bit of IT. So I like it. I took the job. So I worked for Regis a bit and started gaining more hands-on experience, you know. So from Regis, I was now invited for another interview in a consulting firm. Now, interesting interview, sat with the guys, did the first interview. Oh, you sound technical. Fortunately, one of the guys had worked in Regis before. So as soon as I said Regis, that clicked. Secondly, another guy there had worked with Nigerians before. He's worked in Africa a lot. So he already kind of knew that we had the work ethics. Nigerians, we go to the next level in terms of dedication and hard work. So he knew that. There was somebody else that didn't quite share the enthusiasm of a Nigerian coming to work with us, but it was, let's see, you know. So this now gave me the opportunity to start my first IT role. This was the consultant role for Bureau Happold. I knew that there was a lot that I need to prove. There was a need for me to prove myself. You know, it wasn't enough to just do it and everybody goes 8 to 5 and they go home. In my mind, and just to remove he's Nigerian, he doesn't have enough experience in the field, I had to do the extra. So there was a lot of nights that we spent. My wife would remember when she's like, come back to the room, and I'm like, leave me alone, I'm busy, and put those things down. And so this was the journey. And I think over time, I was able to build a rapport with the guys, and there were promotions. At some point, I was asked to go and lead a team in London. So this was in Bath, where the head office was, but they were now beginning to grow an IT presence in London. And all of a sudden, I was no longer a Nigerian boy with a Nigerian passport. I was now, you know, one of the teammates. Yes, there were still challenges with my passport. Every time we had to go for business trips, Ken couldn't go because he has to apply for visa and it has to take a while. Some countries just looked at my passport. In fact, one instance, I was supposed to come to Abu Dhabi, the UAE, and I think there was an outbreak in Nigeria. I don't remember if it was the Ebola or something at the time. my visa was rejected on the grounds that there was Ebola in Nigeria, even though I was applying from the UK and I've been working and living in the UK at that time for 4 or 5 years. But, Nigeria, it just pops out Nigeria and visa rejected, And so these were kind of the challenges I faced in that phase.
His technical acumen and leadership skills saw him transition to becoming an engineer and later associate director at the firm. He further established himself as a project director at Condo London, before advancing to his current role as head of IT infrastructure unit at the Louvre, Abu Dhabi, where he spearheads innovative projects that blend technology with art. Kenneth is passionate about traveling as he believes every new destination offers a fresh perspective. His love for Afrobeats reflects his connection to his roots, fluently speaking Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, and English. Kenneth's multilingual abilities reflect the diversity and depth of his Nigerian heritage. He is a devoted father to 2 children.
When we return, Kenneth Okai will speak more about his career journey, his work in the IT sector, and his advice for aspiring professionals looking to find their niche abroad. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us on the program. And now more from our conversation with Kenneth Okai.
Fortunately, I'd visited the UAE a few times, but there's still this perspective in my mind that the UAE is still a very closed circle kind of place. It has to be either you're a local or you're white, in my mind. But to be honest, having spent the time I've spent in the country, and what I get to realize is they are a very, very open culture. They're open to people as long as you stay within the remit of what you're supposed to do and you don't go outside the law. So coming into the UAE, I was supposed to look after just the IT infrastructure as IT, but I was moved into the technical operations department. So I was dealing with the facilities management guys. And for me, I liked IT, I liked technology, I liked the concept of it. So I started dabbling into facilities management, trying to understand their processes. How do you do this? Why do you do that? What do you do this? So I started from standard IT infrastructure. I started going into digitizing their processes. So it started looking more like a smart building initiative, smart FM initiative. So over the years, my role has grown from just looking after the networks, which was what I was originally responsible for. So I did the passive and active network design, to now developing the digital footprint of the building. So I'm looking after all the IoT sensors we have on site. I want to know the temperature, humidity, smell, spaces. We want to know, I look after the infrastructure that supports security, that supports all the building systems. And looking at how do we take our physical, mundane processes and automate those, move away from the standard FM to a more digital space. We're looking at how to introduce AI into our processes, machine learning into our processes. So my role has kind of moved from IT infrastructure to more like a digital transformation specialist or head. And this is what I'm leading now. So we're working on different projects where we'll bring the museum more alive, more from my role is more specific to facilities management than to the visitor experience side of it. It's just making sure that the building operates as smartly as it can. One of the truest reality checks for me was when I sat with my sister, which is funny because she's family and she's supposed to know me enough. So when I went back home in September and we sat down and we spoke a bit, and she turns and looked at me and she's like, you're actually a big boy. I'm like, this is my sister, we talk, the closest person to me, we talk a lot. She knows what I do and she knows, but they don't quite understand the gravity of what I do and what it represents until we sat down and we had this conversation and she's like, really, and then when my parents visited as well, taking them to the site, and then, they see you go around, they see people, nod at you, and they're like, oh, okay, so our son might be a big deal, it's not, but it's true, it's difficult, it's difficult to be that person, because when you go outside without my Louvre jacket, the treatment you get is always still the same. People still look down at you. People still, until you start a conversation and like, oh, you are, oh, you know, because I've been to conferences where, you know, people just walk past, and until somebody now says, oh, this is the IT infrastructure guy from, and, you know, all of a sudden, oh, nice to meet you. And it's obviously it's not written like Nigerian on my forehead, but the fact that you're a black man puts that first. Is probably here to help us serve drinks, or is probably here to help us move things around, or is accompanying somebody else, you know. So you find that a lot, but it is what it is. It's that realization. Just the mindset of Nigerians is the real problem, to be honest. I was going home in September, and I remember calling different people to say, hey, I'm coming home. And the panic from people that are in Nigeria, it even makes you afraid to want to go back home. Oh, you can't travel this, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, like, there is so much fear ingrained in the people. And Nigerians are the first people to tell you about how bad things are in Nigeria. You know, we are the first people to condemn ourselves, so to say. The difference here in the UAE is they promote the UAE. There's a national pride in being a UAE national. It's different from being Nigerian. You know, everybody in Nigeria wants to leave the country. Even people that have probably decent jobs that are doing better, they don't know. In their minds, it's, let me use the slang everybody's using, the japa, you know. So it's the mindset. I think Nigerians have a long way to go in beginning to accept that we're a great nation, you know. It took a guy, the first real experience, the first real opportunity I had was from this guy that had worked with Nigerians before, and is able to say, no, Nigerians are committed to. If a Nigerian gets on this, the grind is different. You know, it takes others to see who we are. We don't promote the things I went through a page recently, and it was tourism in Nigeria. That was the first time I was seeing this, and this was a couple of months ago. We don't see enough of those things, you know. We don't see enough of the beautiful places. There are loads of nice places. The only things you ever hear about is crime and how expensive food is and how terrible the government is. And that's all you ever hear. So it's changing the narratives, especially for people from at home. I hear what they say about people in the diaspora and what they can contribute. But even people at home, you know, you're at home, you're in your own space. Stop looking at what the government is doing in your own small space, in how you portray Nigeria, I would love to go home, you know. And when you talk to people, it puts a lot of, are you sure? Are you sure? I didn't go back home for close to 12 years after I left. And to be honest, a lot of it was down to, is it safe? Is it this? Is it that? I miss Nigerian food, don't get me wrong. I love Nigerian food. But again, there is that fear. So it's changing that narrative. More like looking at these guys and how they want the UAE. They promote it with pride. You know, my son today was saying that he has to put on the full uniform, you know, the full national outfit. This is what I mean. We don't promote this. You would hardly, I don't know, to be fair, I've not been to Nigerian schools and I don't know how much of culture they promote. But this, in my mind, is what is missing in Nigeria. That pride of being, I'm a Nigerian, we're a great nation. You know, we have a lot to offer. I think this is missing in the whole grand scheme of things. One of the reasons why the UAE is very safe is the infrastructure it has. You go out this door, there's a camera that is connected to a central port that can see exactly what you do. That in itself puts a sense of security in people that live. For me, it would be to build the infrastructure in Nigeria, is build the base infrastructure where we can now start putting different applications on top of it. I don't know how much the development has been, but talking about things like having CCTV cameras, not just in private spaces. I know a lot of people are doing this for their homes and blah, but it's putting it in public spaces, is taking advantage of the sun, the solar energy, generating that and powering because when I started looking at this earlier, a couple of years back, I think somebody asked like, but there's no power. How can you do this? But it's looking at it, but you have sunlight, there's solar, there are alternatives. If the government is committed to these things, this for me is a key driver. I was even saying I'll go back to my state and use it as a prototype. Use my village, it's a small village, but being able to harness the power of the sun, solar energy, build an infrastructure that creates a semi-safe space. So looking at creating a safe city, not just my home, a safe city, and using it as a prototype for nationwide deployment, that would be kind of what my key driver would be.
And that wraps up another inspiring episode of Diaspora Network. Remember, you can find more amazing stories of Nigerians making their mark on the global stage on our YouTube channel and website, channelstv.com. Until next time, I'm Tenyola Oyetayo. Bye for now.